From analog.
Hi, Jim. You've a great signal up here. You're 5.9 plus.
To digital.
We are everywhere you want to be. This is the CQ Blind Hams Podcast.
My name is Steve, KW0Z, coming to you through Talk Group 31665. That's the TGIF Amateur Radio Net, and we are holding this tonight on July 25th, 2025. It's time to crank up the fun and give a big shout-out to Shark RF OU, the Estonian wizards making ham radio a blast. Grab your mic, let's chat about their awesome work. The cool mic, M1KE, popularly known here on TGIF as the Mikey, and Estonia's digital vibes. Picture Estonia, a tiny Baltic gem, just 1.3 million folks, but a tech giant. They've got e-governance, digital IDs, and internet for all. Have you ever heard of e-residency? It lets anyone run a business from Estonia. No plane ticket needed. This high-tech playground is perfect for Shark RF OU, based in Tallinn, where they cook up gear for hams. Shark RF is all about making digital radio easy and fun. Their open spot boxes and the mic let us chat on DMR, D-Star, C4FM, and other modes without extra gadgets. Want to jump between modes? No sweat. Their gear, like the mic, is small but mighty, connecting us across the globe with crystal clear voice. Now, who's behind this magic? That's Akos Martin, call sign Hotel Golf 1 Mike Alpha, HG1MA. He's the hardware guru. And Norbert Varga, Hotel Alpha 2, November, Oscar November. That's HA2NON. He's the software whiz. Akos designs slick circuits and runs the show, while Norbert codes, builds websites, and keeps us happy with top-notch support. These guys are ham radio fans like us, pouring their hearts into tools that make our hobby shine. Amateur radio has been rocking for more than a century, from old-school Morse code to digital networks like the TGIF DMR network. Hams love to tinker, and Shark RF's mic and the open spots fit right in, letting us experiment and connect in Estonia's tech-savvy spirit. So let's tip our caps to Shark RF for their research and development wizardry. Their mic and other goodies keep our airwaves buzzing with fun. Keep innovating, Akos and Norbert. You're making ham radio a party. My name is Steve, call sign KW0Z. Call for comments. Push your talk button now.
M9Q.
November 2, Delta Yankee, India.
Thank you, stations. Net Control recognizes KM9Q and N2DYI. KM9Q. Scott, the podium is yours.
Thank you, Steve. I think you need to get yourself as a professional radio announcer. Got a great radio voice there. Well, my name is Scott, and I'm in Clearwater, Florida, and I bought the M1KE. When I am at work, it's perfect because we're not allowed to emit any RF, but Wi-Fi is allowed. So I tether that thing to my personal hotspot of my personal cell phone, and I can listen and comment throughout the day. I looked into things that work on a cell phone before, a.k.a. Droid Star and whatnot. But a lot of fans are on. It's very loud where I work. And I can keep the M1KE in my front left pocket with the lanyard on in case I drop it when I grab it. And, having a ball with it. It's very lightweight, slips in and out of the pocket. The battery lasts forever, and I really enjoy it. Helps the time go by at work. That is why I bought it. When I'm at home here, I still prefer a regular, traditional radio, but for going to work, it can't be beat. I've heard a few people, these are people with hearing loss, older hams, say that they wish the receive audio could be louder. They really like to crank up their HTs. Other than that, not too many problems. Sounds good on every mode I've listened to them on, and I get good audio reports on them. Does a good job of canceling out all that noise at work. I've got it tailored for that, and it sounds a little different on my cell phone than on my home Wi-Fi here. But since I usually use it on that cell phone, I'll leave it there. One little other anomaly some people have commented about is the when we're on TGIF in the DMR mode, not all of them, but some of them can be heard by some radios. When you let go of the push-to-talk key, you get a little squawk at the end of digital noise, but they are constantly coming out with firmware updates for the M1KE, so there's a chance there that can be corrected. And other than that, would I buy it again? Absolutely, yes. Yes, I would, because it's just perfect for me to take to work. And those are my comments about the device. I'll turn it back to you, Net Controls. Stephen, take it away.
AM9Q, this is KW0Z. Well, appreciate that field report there, Scott, especially getting away with playing with amateur radio while you're at work in Clearwater, Florida. Hey, I'll review your comments there after we hear from the next station, November 2, Delta Yankee, India. The podium is yours.
Good evening, Steve, and everyone on the net. This is Into DYI, Patrick in Rockaway Park, New York, basically the very outskirts of Queens, out in the Rockaways of Queens on the peninsula. Well, I am not a mic user. I run a pretty large system, and there are lots of blind and visually impaired operators who are picking this up. I'm blind myself, and I run the Blind Hams network. And so people are coming up with tricks and tips for operating the mic from both the web interface and at least minimally through the UI. And maybe some of those folks are listening today and they can comment more than I can since I don't own it. But I basically just have a couple of quick questions. Well, one comment and a question, I guess. So I operate primarily on All-Star Link. I'm coming to you now actually through an All-Star Link node. It's a private node, but it's basically All-Star Link with DV Switch Mobile installed. Right now I don't have a working DMR hotspot. I haven't really been on DMR in years. And one thing that has come to the attention of lots of All-Star Link node owners, right now there's a problem with the mic when you connect in IX mode where you use an actual All-Star Link number. In some cases, not all, but in some cases it causes some condition wherein if there is at least one mic connected to the node that you're on, when someone else unkeys their radio, they'll hear a series of 6 beeps. It goes beep, 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 really fast. And that's what's known as the Ranger courtesy tone, and nobody quite knows why that's being triggered, because Ranger nodes always start with the number 9, and there's, as far as I know, no way to do that with a mic, because you can't have a public node starting with 9. Let me reset. So we're kind of in those of us who use All-Star Link are kind of in the background. Hopefully we can provide some useful context and get that problem resolved. It's a little hard for me to do that personally since I don't own one, but there's enough sample material from others who have it that hopefully I can, or someone else can get that resolved. It's kind of annoying, but the All-Star Link support is pretty new, and I'm glad it's there because it does sound pretty good most of the time. The other comment I have is in the blurb for the mic on their website, it mentions that it has dynamic compression on the microphone. And I'm an audio guy by trade, and I have never heard a hint of any kind of dynamic compression or ALC or limiting or anything like that on anyone's mic. So I'm just wondering if that's a feature that is not enabled by default, or if there's something that's just not obvious to me. I'm not sure. And likewise, I'm also hard of hearing, and I do wish that one of the big reasons I don't have one is that it doesn't have a headphone jack. and I use my HTs and my radioless nodes pretty much primarily with devices that connect to the headphone jack. It would probably be relatively easy to just take one of these devices apart and drill a small hole somewhere and cut the speaker out, stick a jack in it, but that would certainly be making me a little more likely to buy one if it had a headphone jack. Back to your net control, KW0Z. This is into DYI.
November 2, Delta Yankee India. Patrick, man, you cast a long shadow. You are a hero of mine. I first joined Digital Noble Radio through the Blind Hands, and you guys guided me to TGIF. So it's a small global village, and really appreciate your key up here. Let me review topics that you brought up here. You don't personally own a mic, but plenty of operators on Blind Hams and other networks have been contributing to your knowledge base about it. Let's see. You've pointed out the problem if multiple mics are connected to all Starlink nodes, you'll hear the Ranger beep, the series of 6 beeps as the mic disconnects, and that's triggered by an unknown feature in the software there, so that's a bug report. Duly noted. We'll carry that with us. And then you mentioned discussion of audio compression, ALC, or automatic limiting, or limiting. And I know what you're talking about there, Patrick. In the RF Link software, which is the web, page interface, there's an adjustment for the microphone itself, and they call it compression, I believe, but what I sensed was it alters EQ. It kind of boosts the bass, and so it may be an auditory illusion there. But we'll keep that in mind there, your report of no real compression there, and some discussion of audio digital signal processing. And then your one final comment about no external audio. And I don't know if you know about the Wi-Fi audio available through the Shark RF Link web page. There's an option to activate a speaker such as a streaming speaker so that you can hear audio on your computer. And what I've found is that the computer can then relay that Bluetooth into my hi-fi here and possibly into your headphones there. So there's a Wi-Fi audio option in Shark RF Link web page software there. And that might get you an external audio. And I've had the same thought there, brother, about cracking the case and hardwiring a speaker jack to it and getting some outboard audio there. So with that, I'll toss it back to you, Patrick, see if you have further comment into DYI. This is KW0Z.
Thank you, Steve. Yeah, I thought I recognized your call. And yeah, I just literally learned about the Wi-Fi streaming feature earlier today. And I'm glad that that's there, but it sure would be nice to just have an all-in-one solution that, where I could just pretty easily. The thing about the mic is that it's portable, and so just being able to throw it around and stick even just an earbud or something in directly or connect it to some device that connects to my hearing aids or whatever sure would be nice. I mean, that is an option. It's just another potential device that has to sit there and stream over the network and whatever network your device is on. I'm glad it's there, though. So that is at least an option. As loud as I need speakers so that I can hear them reasonably and all that sort of thing, it drives people crazy, so I try not to use speakers when I can. Anyway, Steve, good net. Have a good time. Going on. KW0Z, this is into DYI, back to net control.
Thank you, Patrick. Really appreciate you stopping by and making comments here on this Shark RF mic. And we'll look for you further down the coax there. Appreciate your check-in there. And returning to Scott's comments, Kilo Mike 9 Quebec. Let's see, he's getting away with amateur radio at work there in Clearwater, Florida. Hope the boss doesn't have a Shark RF mic listening. Let's see, reports that the Shark RF mic will connect successfully through the cell phone, although that sounds a little bit different from the home Wi-Fi. We found that DroidStar is too soft on receive audio in the noisy work environment. You work around a lot of computer servers. Sounds like a server room and sounds like a lot of fans going on there. You're reporting that long battery life, folks with hearing loss report, just like Patrick did, they'd like to see external audio. And we might discuss the Wi-Fi connection for external audio a little bit more. But I agree with the stations. I'd like to see some hardware there too, maybe a jack or a Bluetooth output on audio. Let's see, what else here? If I can read my scribbles here. Oh, you'd buy it again and expect future updates to the Shark RF. I was going to mention to Patrick there, Bluetooth audio no doubt will be included in the mic version 2 there, into DYI. Tip of the cap to you there. Hey, Scott, I'll toss it back to you for further comments. Kilo Mike 9, Quebec. This is KEW0Z.
All right, Stephen, I think you covered it all. It is actually loud enough for me. I don't have hardly any hearing loss at all. And if it's in my front left pocket, that's close enough to my left ear where I can listen and hear what's going on. Other than that, a lot of the hard of hearing people, they're not even really talking, or they haven't mentioned to me Bluetooth or some other way. They're saying they want volume control on the radio when they crank it up to be louder than it can get. So that's it, though. You got the rest of it. Back to you, Nick Control.
Thank you, Scott, especially for keying up and getting the discussion started there, KM9Q, and also Patrick keying up, visiting the TGIF net into DYI. Well, other stations, we've got plenty of time this evening, had so many check-ins this evening, and we'll be reading that roster at the end of our radio net this evening, but I wonder if any further stations have comments about the Shark RF mic or other digital devices. I had this passing thought that the Shark RF mic may one day replace the DV Megacast, so we might have some debate and discussion about that. My name is Steve, call sign KEW0Z on the TGIF Amateur Radio Net. Push your talk button now.
KEW0Z. Good evening, Kilo Bravo 2, Charlie Sierra November. KB3, JQQ is effective orders for you.
KC3 NRS.
This is W0QA, Whiskey 0, Quebec Alpha.
All right, stations, Net Control recognizes 4 further commenters here. We've got plenty of room at the podium. First of all, we hear from our friend Carlos in Kansas City, KB2. Charlie Sierra November, KB2 CSN. The podium is yours.
Good evening. I just came in late to the net, unfortunately. I'd love to know what happened in the first half. And I am totally blind. And so I'm speaking to another blind ham. I didn't know if I should get a OpenSpot 4 Pro or an M1KE. He told me to get an M1KE. I had one originally when they first came out because I thought it was a great idea. But I didn't. I'm not very good with computers, so I couldn't figure it out, and there was nobody blind at the time that really had one. So I wound up sending it back because I didn't know if I'd get it to work. But then I've got a second one, and I'm still learning and having people try to help me and asking for a lot of help. So I thank everyone out there who might be listening who has and has offered to help me. A couple of comments. I'd like to also agree with N2DYI there, Patrick, who runs a fantastic blind ham system. I there a lot and truly enjoy it. Thank you, Patrick, very much. I think that the idea of like maybe Bluetooth to connect to AirPods or something, or a mic or a headphone jack would be wonderful. I don't know if it would make the unit any bigger. Other things I think I would like to see, it'd be interesting if one day the M1KE could also serve as a hotspot. So if a person wanted a choice of using it to use a radio with it, or, you know, I don't know if something like that could even be done, but and also use a mic with a speaker, mic and speaker on it also. And as I said, I have Bluetooth, so maybe you could connect headphones or a speaker mic. Other thing I'd like to see, and I know some other blind people have talked about it, is the more speech on the M1KE so that it could read out all the menus and be able to just, you know, have all the menus spoken like Kenwood does with their THD 75A series radios. that a blind person can use completely and have all the menus spoken. The other things I wanted to talk about the M1KE is, let's see, what else? So there's a few other things that I'm not trying to think about them. Oh yeah, one thing that I've asked about, and I wonder if other people have had this problem. A lot of times when I turn on the M1KE, it makes the little 3 tones, ascending tones, and it'll say mic profile and a profile number, whatever. Well, sometimes in the middle of it saying mic profile, it stops and goes the 3 tones again and starts again, mic profile, almost like it stutters or like it reboots after turning on. I've even heard it like it'll say mic profile 3 or whatever, and then it's about to connect to the profile and make the 2 beeps, and it'll say connected to whatever, REF 030, and before that happens, I've heard it say mic profile again and make the ascending beeps like it stopped and restarted rebooting. And a couple of times I've had it say, for example, mic profile, whatever, and then it did not even speak what it was connected to. I've had that happen. I was wondering if anyone's had any issues like with it doing strange stuff like that. Overall, it would be very interesting to see more updates. And, oh yes, the speaker button that you mentioned. That button that you mentioned on the web interface, accessible for a blind person, because apparently it is a graphic of a speaker button. And people using VoiceOver on iPhones and Macs and whatever, the computer will not recognize that button. Hopefully Shark RF will make that button accessible for, visually impaired M1KE users, because accessibility is very important, especially on a device like this. And I've noticed that sometimes my battery life seems to go down a little quicker. I mean, I don't know how long the battery is supposed to last, but sometimes I think mine goes down a lot faster. In a few days, it goes down a lot. So, everyone says it has a very long battery life, but I'm not sure. Maybe I have it on too much or talk too much, and the battery goes down for a few days kind of quickly on mine. All right, over to you, Net Control, and great job with this net. I'd love to hear what happened in the beginning of it. KV2CSN, over to you, Net Control.
Thank you, Carlos. You brought up so many great points about the mic there. Appreciate your comments there, KV2CSN. Carlos. And now let's move to KV3JQQ. The podium is open. Push your talk button now.
All right. I just want to give a heads up on if you want to use a statewide talk group on the BM network, they're really whining about things that are not radio devices. You got to use a radio device on a statewide talk group. Things like DV dongles and Blue DV and all that. And I'm sure the mic is also going to be included in that. So you got to use a real radio device to get into a statewide talk group on Brandmeister. KB3JQQ.
Thank you, Scott, for that advisory about statewide talk groups on Brandmeister are limited to radios only, no digital devices, no DV dongles, Blue DV mics, or other digital devices. Welcome on statewide networks, talk groups there on Brandmeister. Appreciate your comment there, Scott. Let's move to Steve, W0 Quebec Alpha, W0QA. Push your talk button. The podium is yours.
Good evening, W0QA. I am blind. I am using the M1KE, and I need more talking menus, and I would like to see an option to control the speed of the 3 presses of the button to put you into the mode to change profiles, and I'd like to have some kind of indication, special tone, that you're on the right screen to make those changes to profiles, and that would sure make it a whole lot easier. So that's just some of my brief comments. I've only had the unit about 2 weeks now. KW0Z, W0QA.
Whiskey 0 Quebec Alpha. This is KW0Z. Well, Steve, you sound great there on the mic. Wonder if our friend Jerry heard you there, KC3NRS. Steve here at W0QA is speaking on a mic. Copy that you are blind or print disabled. I used to read over at Kansas Audio Reader. And folks who had difficulty reading printed material were our audience. Not only blind people, but maybe people seeking English as a second language or perhaps impaired physically and can't turn the page. So tip of the cap to you there. Let's see. You suggest that Mike needs more voice prompts, which I would agree with. And then tell me more about 3 presses of the button. Is that a feature I have not discovered yet? That's a great idea. 3 presses of the button, and that would pull up options for selecting profiles. Is that your suggestion, or did you find that operational there, Steve? W0QA, this is KW0Z.
Well, you can press the second button down, the arrow button, 3 times quickly, and then you can use your up and down arrows to change profiles. But if you don't press it fast enough, then you're on a different screen and you screw up things. So if there was an option to leave it at the fast speed, slow it down a little bit, or really slow it down, and then give you some kind of an audio indicator that you're on the correct screen to change profiles, it would be less scary. W0QA.
Less hairy indeed. I'll quote you on that, Steve. Yeah, copy on the second button. If you press it 3 times, that moves that cursor down on the screen, and then you can select that for profiles. And indeed, that's a tip-top suggestion there, to have a dedicated page for profiles, and you can stay and select your channels there. So appreciate your contributions there. Let's see, we had Scott, KB3JQQ, have a comment. The podium is open. Push your talk button now.
I just about burned my dinner waiting to get in there. Yeah, the statewide talk groups are the ones that are like Maryland statewide, Pennsylvania statewide, whatever statewide, 3124, whatever. But 3100 is a kind of like whatever talk group. The reason about the statewide talk groups is that they're usually over repeaters, and they're Motorola devices, and with the licensing stuff, you got to have a licensed device. You can't use a cross mode. You can't do this. You can't do this. You must use a DMR radio on your hotspot, or they get really whiny about it. Matter of fact, we got cut off for about a month because people kept using these other devices, and it took us a month to finally get it reconnected. So please don't use any non-DMR device on a statewide talk group on Burmeister. They get really whiny. KB3JQQ.
Hey, copy the voice of experience there. That's Kilo Bravo 3, Juliet, Quebec, KB3JQQ. Scott reporting that statewide networks on talk groups on Brandmeister restrict digital devices due to RF repeaters and the Motorola protocols, and cross-moding being a licensed issue there. So appreciate that field report there, Scott. Otherwise, 3100 appears to be open for digital devices. Did I get that right, Scott, before you go back and eat that crusty dinner there? KB3JQQ, this is KW0Z.
Yeah, I've never heard them complain about any other talk group other than these statewide talk groups. And like I said, we got cut off for about a month because people kept using these other devices. KB3JQQ.
All right, my friend, we'll enjoy your dinner there, and duly noted. About 3100 is open, and otherwise the statewide talk groups are restricting digital devices due to the RF linking between Motorola repeaters there. I saw Miguel key up, KC1LKO. KC1LKO, the podium is open. Push your talk button now.
Okay. So, yeah, I'm looking at the console. I know Fred key up as well, and I just saw Angel key up. So KC1LKO, New Hampshire, running the MKE radio, Bill 33. That's the beta Bill 33. So far, so good. Not perfect, but not bad for a 1.0 device. Have my suggestions. Right now, the thing that I'd like to get some hint, and thank you for the triple click, by the way, on the second button. That worked pretty good. The triple click on the third button, that threw me for a loop. It puts in some kind of a null mode. You have to triple click there again to get out of that mode. I don't know what that does, but in any case, the device, the one thing I'm looking for a tip is on how to prevent the swishing sound, like water running, or that type of a sound when people key up. This is happening when I listen to it on the MKE radio. It does not happen on the 7550E Motorola radio. And I suspect it has something to do with their processing of sound on receive. Not sure. Other than that, so far so good. And if I'll just take a standby and transmit on the Motorola for those that want to see how it sounds compared one to the other. And this is KEC1LKO on the 7550E, just for comparison for those that are curious. All right, very good. KEC1LKO, back to net.
Thank you for your comments there, Miguel. On the noise limiting, there's a noise limiting control in the Shark Link software, and I'm talking on a Motorola 5550 right now, but on my Shark mic, I have set noise limiting to 100% to minimize that background rush when my modulation drops. It's almost like a gate that opens up with compression there. Sort of something N2 DYI Patrick mentioned there. I appreciate that comparison there between your Motorola 7550 and the Shark RF M1KE. Let's move to Angel. KE2KL. The podium is open. Push your talk button now.
KE2KL. Thank you, Steve. I ran into a problem about 10, maybe 11 years ago, where my mother's hearing was degrading, and I had given her a phone, and she couldn't use her plug-in earpiece. So I got on the internet, and I found out that that phone had a C connector, and it was for use for more than just power. So I got the adapter, and I got her earpiece to get plugged into that C connector. Since the Mic 1 has a C connector, let's find out if it has more than just charging capabilities, because you might be able to plug in an earpiece with a C connector. I can do it on my phone right now. For those people that don't like Wi-Fi or can't use it for some reason, or wireless Bluetooth. I know that that phone had that option, but we plugged it in and it worked. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. That's just my 2 cents in case something's available. KE2KL.
Tip-top suggestion there, Angel. I appreciate you checking that out, contributing that to us. And we'll have to do some field research on that and get back with the group there. But just note for the experimenter's logbook, the USB-C port on the Shark RF may support external audio. So we'll do some experimentation with that. Get back with you, Angel. That's a great suggestion. KE2KL. This is KEW0Z. Let's move on to KV2CSN. Carlos. The podium is open. Push your talk button now.
Okay, thanks again, KV2CSN, with more comments. Yeah, using the USB-C for audio output, someone suggested, and it's been talked about, wouldn't it be nice to have, for example, where you could plug in headphones on the M1KE or Bluetooth headphones or whatever, or some other way, and be able to have full duplex on All-Star, because All-Star is full duplex, and you figure if you have headphones on the M1KE, maybe All-Star could be full duplex, and that would be pretty neat for those people that like that. Of course, then people would start talking on each other, and you'd hear two people at the same time. And another thing sometimes mine does, sometimes when I charge it, it gets stuck on the number. Like it gets stuck at 89 or 80 or 75 or 95 or whatever, and it just sits there. And I'm charging it, and I know I keep charging it, but on the web page it still says it's 95% charged or 80% charged, and it doesn't move. And sometimes it goes down, and when it goes up, I guess it continues charging, but it's not reflecting the fact that it has that full charge. And all of a sudden, then sometimes it fixes itself. That's another problem I've had. And I think another thing I've had is sometimes, I don't know how, but it's like it stays locked in transmit. And you have to press the key again to unlock it, or maybe that's a feature that I don't even know how to do, but I've had it from time to time where it can stay locked in transmit mode. But maybe that's a feature, and if it is, someone maybe can tell me how to do that so that I make sure it doesn't happen. Or maybe I might want it to happen, and then I don't have to keep holding down the microphone button, because every once in a while my finger slips and I unkey, and then I have to key up again. It kind of would be nice if it did have like a little mic lock. But maybe that's a feature in there that I don't know about. KB2 CSN, over to you, Net Control.
KB2 CSN. Well, that's a great list of additional questions about the mic there, Carlos. Tip-top suggestion there for making All-Star Link full duplex. And copy on the battery issue that the web page doesn't seem to update with continuous charging on the battery. I wonder if you are refreshing the web page. My hunch is you probably are. You sound like you know what you're doing there, but we'll toss that out to the group. Let's move on to KE8PBA. The podium is open. KE8PBA. Push your talk button now.
Well, good evening, Steve, and the net here. Continuing on with the word battery, I do not own a mic. Have considered one for about a year, although I have Robert's TGIF spot, I have his junior spot, I have a clear node and an open spot 3. So I'm pretty much covered for all the digital nodes, but for travel and whatever, the mic sounds good. My main question is this. I have an open spot 3, which I have replaced the battery twice. And it's looking like it's getting a little bit, not much left on it. And if you go to the Shark RF webpage for an open spot 3 or 4, they continue to stay out of stock. And I've understood that there's a problem shipping lithium batteries. So if that continues, the mic has been around long enough now, if you had one. If its battery starts to go downhill, what is Shark going to do to guarantee that you can replace the battery? Because if you have to tether an external one to it, to me it kind of defeats the purpose. So I'm curious, though, what kind of information anybody else might have on this, but I just checked it an hour ago, and it still says out of stock for batteries for open spot 3 and 4. Let's just hope Shark has some kind of guarantee. My thoughts are, until I see that, I'm probably not going to drop close to $400 until I know they're going to support this with a battery. Thanks for letting me in the net. This is KE8PBA. Go back to monitoring. Thanks, Stephen.
Richard, that is an astute point based upon your experience. The replacement batteries for the open spot 3 and 4 have been unavailable for quite some time, with no future date of arrival estimated there. And you are reserving your investment in Shark RF mic pending outcome of the battery dilemma. And yeah, I know that's a mindful question there. And we had 2 more stations key up here. I had November 1 Charlie Alpha N1CA from Japan. The podium is open. N1CA. Push your talk button now.
Hey, good evening. Well, first of all, I don't know how Japan got in the mix here. I'm in California on the other side of the ocean from Japan, but okay. Anyway, I'll be real brief and to the point here. Yes, I am using an M1KE as we speak. Yes, I'm also a blind ham. So I would like to echo some of the things I've heard here already. Voice prompts would be helpful. If nothing else, if they can't be put in other words, things that aren't here, since there already are voice prompts that read you the profile that you log on to when you first power the thing up, it'd be nice to maybe have it speak the name of those profiles as you're arrowing down when you do that 3-button press thing that was discussed earlier. That would certainly be better than nothing. The USB-C port on the bottom, I've had the same thought as well. If that thing does more than just charging, if it supports data, it'd be nice if that could, through software, be turned into something that works with a USB-C headset. for things like what has been discussed, and especially for duplexing, because one of the things I was kind of sort of hoping that we'd be able to do with these things since it is a radioless node. And the third thing that I would really like to see, if it's at all possible through software updates, is some sort of automatic gain on the speaker, so that when people come in blasting in here, or people come in really low, that somehow the device itself would adjust the volume coming out of the speaker to try to sort of level it. I don't know if it's doable, but I'll throw it out there on the wish list. And other than that, I like this device. It's really cool. I'm having a lot of fun with it. But yeah, those are some of the things I think that make it even a little better. So back to Net Control, and thanks for running this net.
N1CA, Julian, appreciate your check-in here. Noted that you are east of Japan in Van Nuys, California. Those are tip-top suggestions there. Appreciate your check-in, N1CA. Now let's move to November Hotel 6 Foxtrot Uniform, NH6FU. The podium is open. Push your talk button now.
First of all, I've got my M1KE plugged into a power supply in USB, and it's powering it right now. I can go to my status page. Remember, it's power, not computer. I can go to my status page, and there's a speaker with an X on it. And if I click on it, I hear the audio through my computer. So that part of it is working. Now, secondly, and most importantly, is there are about 20, 30 YouTube videos on the M1KE, and most of them are by one person. And I really don't get a lot out of them. I would like to see Shark RF do something with Ham Radio Crusader, who puts out some absolutely great and understandable YouTube videos. So with that, ham on, y'all.
November Hotel 6 Foxtrot Uniform. Peter, appreciate your comments, man. Looking for additional resources to learn about the mic, and you recommend Ham Radio Crusader. Appreciate those tip-top suggestions. We've got the podium open. Let's toss it to Whiskey Echo 8 Mike. This is KEW0Z.
All right, KEZ0Z just got a mic yesterday, and I guess I'm still kind of I've been playing around with hotspots, and I'd like to get digital probably for the last 10 years. And this is the first of everything I want with one device. DMR, D-Star, and for the first time, all Starlink. My impressions are positive. There was a station on earlier talking about 90%. I cracked that code earlier today. So near the bottom in the miscellaneous section, turn off. If you have that on, it'll do certain things to keep your battery life on. So if you want to get to 100% routinely, turn off that option. It's in the miscellaneous near the very end. So anyway, that's my input. EAM, back.
NP4M, like check-in for Chipmunk Network.
November Papa 4 Mike. Duly noted there, Noel. We've got you in the log here. Let's see, Whiskey Echo 8 Mike. David, you made some great comments there. Very useful information. Appreciate your comments there, David. Let's see, we also had KD8 KBS and, of course, NP4M keying up. The podium is open before I get into my next remarks there. Anybody who wants to make a comment, push your talk button now.
AE6ML, one follow-up item.
Let's see, I saw Whiskey X-Ray 4 Bravo Papa Delta, Brandon key up, and AE6ML Michael. Michael, you called to make a comment. I got the podium open, so push your talk button now.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. I just wanted to, good evening to everyone on the net. I just wanted to report back. A while back, I don't know, 3 weeks ago or something, I mentioned having a problem with the the temperature controlled compensated crystal oscillator not reporting in WPSD, and someone suggested doing a clean install, so that's what I did. There's a new version called the Bookworm version. I reinstalled that, and then luckily I had made a backup copy of the configuration file from the old one, and that worked fine with the new Bookworm version, and the problem went away. The frequency is reported back again now, and everything's stable and good. So yeah, when there's problems, sometimes a fresh, clean install is the way to go, and then make sure you save a backup copy of your configuration so you don't have to reconfigure the whole thing. That's all, thanks. Back to net, AE6ML.
Good piece of work there, Michael, on your TCXO, your temperature-controlled crystal oscillator. In WPSD, the alternate MMDVM software for the hotspot. Duly noted there, Michael. Appreciate your field report. AE6ML. And also saw Whiskey X-Ray 4 Bravo Papa Delta key up there. WX4BPD. We put you into the log here, Brandon. Wonder if you have comments. The podium is open. Push your talk button now.
Roger that. And it's Whiskey X-Ray 4 Bravo Delta Papa. You got the D and P backward, but that's okay. You got all the letters. You just got the last two backwards, but that's okay. One thing you might want to realize when you're opening up devices and you're wanting to add ports in there, like, soldering wires from the speaker jack, from the two cables that's on the speaker jack to like a headphone jack, your ohms is totally different. You have a different type of ohm versus your headphone versus a actual speaker. So you need to look at that before you go soldering cables in there, because that is a major thing to do, and then find out later on it burns the audio amp up inside, because the ohms of the speaker that is amplifying is not the correct measurement of ohms. So that's one thing that you want to make sure of before you do anything like that. But on the same term, you can put in a speaker jack and run it to an amplifier on the input side, and then have your two speakers coming off the amplifier. That is perfectly okay. So there's one way to be able to hear what you're doing. Now, yes, you would have to take this thing everywhere you go, this whole entire setup, but that is one thing that will work. WX4BDP.
Hey, Brandon, that's a tip-top field report and voice of experience there about the impedance of the internal speaker on the mic, and how perhaps your external headphones will not match that same impedance. Therefore, you'll introduce either distortion or maybe signal loss there if not enough current flows through your headphones there. I heard from a field report this afternoon that when you take the 4 screws out of the Shark RF mic case and you open it up and disassemble it, that speaker is not hardwired. It's not soldered in place. It's connected through spring clips that contact the PC board. So at least half the work is done there. But before you start voiding your warranty there, stations, let's explore that Wi-Fi audio connection, possibly relaying through Bluetooth afterwards. And also we'll learn more about USB-C audio output, see if the device supports that. The podium remains open. Bob, Kilo 6, Golf Delta. The podium is open. Care to comment? Push your talk button now.
Yeah, good evening, Internet. This is K60. I don't have any about the mic. I've had 10 days. It's a learning experience. I've had opens, haven't really used much, so the learning of profiles all over again. The best I got tonight, 3 button presses, up arrow, so now I've got options to navigate through my profiles. It's easier than going phone. Appreciate that. Only even a complaint, the oddity with these things, I'll come out with the hot mountain, but part of 3165 got all these with advice and opt to try, and that I'll settle it out. So if anybody hesitate buying one, don't let that hate. Let that your part is it's been just tons of able to get everything working all the modes except All Star. So I'm working on All Star. I think I screwed it up. But, I'm to hit everything I hit with this. It's been a whole lot. I'm actually not tired right now, so don't complain about my audio on this. All right, K6G Net. Thanks, whoever started this whole Miami.
Kilo 6 Golf Delta. This is KW0Z. Real innovation there, Bob. Appreciate your comments from Concord, Connecticut there. That you've used the Shark RF mic for some time now. It's meeting your needs and really makes things a little more convenient there. And you're working your way through All-Star Lake, so that's great, man. I'm just beginning to make profiles myself on there. I had an opportunity to listen to the East Coast Reflector through All-Star Lake, and I wish you luck in configuring your device there. Appreciate your comments. K6GD. From Concord, Connecticut. That's Bob. Okay, my name is Steve. Our friend Angel is back. KE2KL. The podium is open. Push your talk button now.
Just wanted to let you know, and know those out there listening, I thought you did a fantastic job for a subject that affects all of us, hams and future hams. You did a fantastic job. Thank you very much.
Hey, thanks for saying so there, Angel. I'm honored to stand in for K4WZV here at this podium. And, this radio net wouldn't be anything without all the participating stations. So appreciate your key up and all the stations and meeting of the minds here on the TGIF Amateur Radio Net tonight, July 25th, 2025. Really appreciate your comment there, Angel. Always good to hear from you, my friend. And let's see, I've got some concluding statements, then we'll read our out cue, and then we will read the roster of call sign check-ins. Meanwhile, let's toss it over to Kilo Bravo 0, Lima Echo X-Ray, KB0LEX. Kurt, the podium is open. Push your talk button now.
Sir, it is KR0LEX, by the way. And for those that aren't aware and you may have visually impaired, all you have to do if you have the interface open is hit Control M, Control Mary, and that will toggle the volume up and down. Turn that on and off. That's all you need is to hit Control M. KR0LEX.
KR0LEX, this is KW0Z, and I call that doorknob therapy. On the way out the door, the most important statement of the evening is made. Copy on Control M for switching audio on and off through your computer keyboard, and copy on Control B for activating the slider for volume there. Did I get that right? Kurt, KB0LEX, this is KW0Z.
Correct. Now on some browsers, Control B will bring up bookmarks. But that's only on, I believe, Firefox. But the most important is Control M will toggle that function on and off. That's all you guys will need. KR0LEX, give it a try. Thank you very much.
Well, very good, Kurt. That's a great suggestion there. Control M toggles audio on the Shark RF mic. Control M on your computer keyboard. Appreciate your comment from the Sunflower State there. KV0 or KR0LEX. That's Kilo Romeo 0 Lima Echo X-Ray. Kurt, appreciate your great comment there. Control M to toggle audio on the Shark RF mic. The podium is remaining open. Any further comments before I launch into closing this down? The podium is open. Push your talk button now.
Stephen, Control V will drop the volume. Control N should move it up. KR0LEX.
KC1LKO. So just my comment here, earlier today, there was some talk about how to connect to the TGIF server. I just wanted to provide my approach. because I heard the words IP connector, and as I was perusing the system now, I saw it. I'm like, why are people using this? So I'll summarize very briefly as I can. I create a connector. Step one, I pick the homebrew MMDVM connector. Okay, then step two, on the protocol, I select MMDVM. Do not select homebrew, select MMDVM. Then for the server address, put TGIF.network. For the port, 62031. And then in the server password, you enter your TGIF hotspot password. You click save. Okay. And then, once it's saved, you're going to enter under the server name, which is going to be empty. You're going to enter something like TGIF. You click save again, you'll be given a dialog so you can name the server. It's going to have a default name of TGIF.network : 62031. Just erase that thing and just put TGIF again. You've created a custom server. It should appear in your server list from now on. Apparently there was some confusion that maybe TGIF was a predefined server. It is not. Well, at least it is not now. But you can make one. You can make your own custom server. Works like a champ. If somebody did not get this, that's okay. We can review this later on the TGIF network. You've done an amazing job, Stephen. Good job. I know it was a long night. I can't believe I'm still awake. KC1LKO.
Instructions on creating custom server inside the Shark RF Link software there. KC1LKO. Just to review real quick, to initiate a TGIF connection, go to your connector page, select Homebrew and MMDVM. Once you've selected that, you'll have the choice of MMDVM, and then you can put in your server address, the TGIF.network, the port 62031, your TGIF password, and then save. Once you've done that, you can enter the server list by typing TGIF. You'll select that and then save that. Then you have an opportunity to rename that server. It shows up as TGIF with port number, but you can abbreviate to TGIF and save that. And then at that point, you have a custom server built inside the Shark RF Link software. So appreciate that recommendation there, KC1LKO. Let's move to our friend east of Japan, N1CA. The podium is yours.
Hi, good evening again. So initially I was going to say that the Control M thing wasn't doing anything for me, but I found that if I did the Control V first, then I was able to use Control M to toggle on and off the speaker. So that's helpful for people using a keyboard. But it would be helpful to have something that would work on iOS or touchscreen devices, which is what a lot of us are using more and more of these days. So, and commenting on some of the stuff that was said earlier, especially with regard to Shark RF offering special assistance to those of us that are blind or low vision. Everybody has different opinions on this, but my personal opinion is that what I'd really like to see Shark RF do is empower us with all the tools that they can to be able to have as much control of these devices on our own. And, if nothing else, that's one of the beauties of having a system like Blind Hams, is that we all help each other figure these things out. That's certainly how I learned how to use it. That's pretty much, I think, how Carlos learned how to use it. A lot of, Care Zero LEX was up there a lot. Then the guy Johnny NE5L were up there helping a lot of us get through it and get these things up and running. So there's a lot of good support already in the community. So while having phone support would certainly not be a bad thing, I think that all things being equal, I'd much rather a company spend resources on giving us the tools to just be able to use these things, making the web interfaces WCAG compliant so that they can work with existing screen readers. That would go a long way. What was mentioned earlier, the voice prompts on the device itself would be helpful. So, things like that, things that give us the tools to then be able to go in there ourselves and tinker with this stuff, since after all, we're hands, and that's kind of what we do, is tinker. It would just be nice to have the equal opportunity to tinker like everybody else. So I'd much rather see Shark RF put resources and time and effort into making sure that their interfaces are as accessible as they can to computer and smartphone screen readers. And if anything, maybe refer people who are blind that maybe don't know about blind hams to come to our network and ask for help, because that's what we do over there. So that's about it. 7-3, good net.
Julian, I appreciate your reminder, and duly noted there, Julian, on your suggestion that companies invest resources in making their devices accessible. Blind Hams is a fantastic resource, and thanks to Patrick and to DYI and everybody else over there, I got my start in digital mobile radio. So appreciate your suggestions there. So with that, stations, I'm going to start to wind down here. Now, stations, to summarize this evening's discussions, my personal enthusiasm for the Shark RF mic stems from its role as a cutting-edge digital radio device, its influence on the sociology of network radio communities, and my responsibility to learn about and explore these technologies, connecting to the rich history of electronic communication. Let me remind you what that rich history is. Thomas Edison developed a carbon microphone in 1877, with a patent granted in 1892. Alexander Graham Bell patented the telephone in 1876, enabling station-to-station electric communication. Earlier devices, like the acoustic tin-can telephone, transmitted sound mechanically, not electrically. Now, stations' rural party lines connected multiple subscribers on shared circuits, often using hand-cranked magneto generators to signal operators. Central stations employed operators until the stepper relay was patented in 1891, enabling automatic switching. And then AT&T's long lines, including terrestrial networks with amplifiers and microwave radio relays, were operational since 1947, extending voice communication range. Then Motorola introduced mobile radio telephones in 1946 with commercial mobile telephone service, MTS, launched in the U.S. to collaborate with the Bell system. Now, the Detroit Police Department used one-way radio communication in 1928, but these were not telephones. In modern-day, electronic switching systems were introduced in 1965, automating telephone switching. The transition to digital telephony began in the 1970s with MOS, integrated circuit technology, enabling digital to analog converters for telephony. And cellular networks began to be incorporated about 1973, was when Motorola's Martin Cooper first demonstrated Dynatac. I worked with Southwestern Bell Mobile Systems in the mid-1980s as that system was being deployed. And then digital radio first was developed through D-Star, developed by the Japan Amateur Radio Relay League in the 1990s. P25 Project 25 emerged post 9/11 for public safety communications. Motorola's DMR, the ASUS System Fusion, and Digital Mobile Radio are modern digital radio standards, enhancing clarity and interoperability. And the Shark RF mic is a versatile network and peer-to-peer communicator, supporting Wi-Fi and station-to-station communication. Its compact design, likened to a Volkswagen for its functionality, serves as a ham shack monitor, a router verification transceiver for troubleshooting, Wi-Fi and hotspot issued multi-mode IP transceiver for DMR, D-Star, C4FM, NXDN, and others. Now, we have freedom through mobility. Mobility, a cornerstone of freedom, is enhanced by the mic's portable digital communication. enabling global connectivity in line with the evolution of mobile telephony. And that pretty much summarizes how we got to here with the Shark RF mic from the invention of the carbon microphone. Man, it's been about 135 years. Quite amazing to see the evolution of this technology. Thank you for listening, stations. We're going to start the out cue now, and then we'll read the roster of call sign check-ins. Well, stations, we are always going to remember the founder of our DMR network. That's Mitch Savage. His call sign, EA7KDO. Mitch passed about 18 months ago. He started the TGIF radio net with just a single Raspberry Pi. He developed the next-gen screen hotspot for TGIF and has spent countless hours helping operators with technical questions. Truly, the culture of the TGIF DMR amateur radio network was established by EA7KDO and his compatriots, K4WZB and KC8 USA, and I know there's others out there. But I can't help but think of Mitch every day. His spirit lives on in every QSO across the TGIF DMR network. Let's also give a big shout out to Ty Weaver, KG5RKI, the coding genius behind TGIF, and Andy Nielsen, G7LRR. Andy is Ty's right-hand man and has really been working with us on keeping the DMR network running smoothly and troubleshooting along the way. Let's shout out to Glenn Allison, N3MEL, who created our forum page and our forum management team now. Mark Rounds, 82CH, Doug Smith, KE5CDK, and Joe Garber, WB3IHY. These operators keep our forum running smoothly, answering questions and guiding newcomers. A big Tango Yankee to each of you from the TGIF Network Operations Center. Let's also remember James Valley, KF6S, now a silent key, but he left the incredible legacy working with Mitch on the next-gen screen hotspots and working to develop Pi-Star for the RAD-XA boards during the Raspberry Pi shortage, showing off James' incredible technical skills. We remember Kilo Foxtrot 6 Sierra. Thanks also go to VE3JAR, that's Vic. Vic has produced amazing documentation for the TGIF network. And Phil Thompson, Victor Echo 3 Romeo Delta, that's VE3RD, for his awesome work in hotspot programming and net recordings. Phil, VE3RD, is also the new conservator and developer of the TGIF Next-In Screen hotspots. Now, you can listen to this and other TGIF amateur radio net recordings. Head over to tgif.network webpage. Click on the Forum tab on the left-hand menu. Scroll down and you'll find the TGIF Friday Night Net Recording Index right there. And a special thanks to Robert Bretzman, K4WZV. As the chief engineer of the TGIF network, Robert brings us all together 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Robert, thanks for joining us tonight, being a good listener, and for keeping the TGIF DMR network running smoothly. Your voice was missed this evening. We look forward to your return to the radio. And to all the operators who join our nets, your voices, your stories, and your friendship make the TGIF Radio Net special. This community keeps getting stronger with each passing week. We had nearly 100 check-ins this evening. Now, your ideas help shape this net. If you have suggestions for future topics or activities, please share them. Together, we'll keep the TGIF Radio Net fun, informative, and enjoyable for everyone. I want to thank you for joining our Radio Net this evening. Now, my name is Steve. My call sign is KW0C. Join us again next week for another TGIF Radio Net on Friday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on Talk Group 3665. This is the end of our net for tonight, Friday, July 25th, 2025. The TGIF Talk Group 31665 is almost back in use worldwide for community amateur radio. I want to send you 73s. And with that, we're going to salute all the stations for checking in this evening. Keep it going, stations. We'll be back here next Friday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on Talk Group 31665. That's the TGIF Amateur Radio Net. And my name is Steve, call sign KEW0Z, signing off from Jefferson County, Kansas, where the mosquitoes are thriving in this hot and humid weather. The TGIF Radio Net is now returning to abnormal amateur radio use. Now it's going to be normal here on 31665. 73 stations, and one more thing to remember, TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. This is KEW0Z. I'll be standing by.
Don't forget to subscribe to this podcast and visit www.blindhams.com.